Welcome to our Lenten reflections. This Sunday is the fourth Sunday of our Lenten journey. Once again, we have two options for readings for this Sunday. The first option comes from Cycle C, a cycle which we are reading this year. And the second option comes from Cycle A, the readings for catechumens, those who are getting ready to be received into the church this Easter Sunday. I have chosen Cycle A because the second reading particularly, I think, is more appropriate to the Lenten season. And the second reading comes from the letter of Paul to the Ephesians. Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will be your light. Who is Paul addressing in this letter to the Ephesians? He is addressing converts, those that have been touched by the gospel of Christ. They have already heard of Christ and God's kingdom, and now Paul is reminding them that it is time to respond to God, to become children of the light. The command to awake is given to someone that has been touched by God and realizes they had been asleep, dead, and lost. The command to awake is therefore the before and after experience of Christ, which demands an answer. There is no neutral or passive response to Christ. Once we recognize that Christ has come to us, we must make a decision to move from darkness into light, from death to living, and from being asleep to being awake. There is no worse blindness than that of the person who refuses to see, who refuses to wake up. Now, how do we know that we have been touched by God? Well, there is no one pattern or mold that we can apply to all of us. Each one of us has a unique personal history into which the Spirit of God comes. It is there in our uniqueness, in our own personal histories, that we must find the God that comes looking for us. Not according to the lives of others, not even according to the lives of saints, but according to your own personal and unique history. Others can accompany us and journey with us, but ultimately only you can discern and give a response to the God who is after you. And what does that experience look like? That experience can be as varied and as diverse as our own unique and personal histories. One thing is certain, though. That experience will question you, your values, your priorities, and what ultimately is important to you. You were once darkness, Paul tells the Ephesians and us who are reading this letter to the Ephesians, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for light produces every kind of goodness and righteousness and truth. The before Christ experience is the experience of death, blindness, and darkness. This is the blindness manifested in the Pharisees in the Gospels. The kind of blindness that refuses to question himself or herself when confronted with love, truth, mercy, and the justice of God. The after Christ experience is the experience of wakefulness, being able to see and live in the light. And how are we to know that we are children of light? According to St. Paul, the proof comes in the fruitfulness of our lives, our attitudes and behaviors. Not that we have to constantly be looking for results or success, but rather to be concerned only with love, mercy, compassion, and the justice of God. The proof will reveal itself in the manner that we adopt for ourselves the vision of God's kingdom in all aspects of our lives. In the gospel, the blind man is able to see and desires to follow Christ. The Pharisees are blind, not physically, but morally and spiritually. Which is the worst kind of blindness? Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will be your light. My name is Father Tony Diaz, Claretian missionary. God bless.